This video is not intended to inspire any conflicts. It is provided solely for informational purposes, including all content and images. Is the conflict between Australia and Indonesia possible? Give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more in-depth military analyses. Hit the notification bell to stay updated on our latest videos. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Made by at DevData Planet YouTube channel 2025. Introduction. The possibility of military conflict between Australia and Indonesia in 2025 appears highly unlikely based on current geopolitical dynamics, historical context, and the trajectory of their bilateral relationship. The two nations share a complex history, including past tensions like the Indonesian confrontation, 1962 to 1966, and East Timor disputes, but recent developments point to deepening cooperation rather than conflict. Below is a comprehensive analysis drawing on the provided search results, critical evaluation, and broader geopolitical context as of September 10, 2025. Historical context. Indonesian confrontation, 1962 to 1966. During this period, Indonesia, under President Sukarno, opposed the formation of Malaysia, leading to a low-intensity conflict involving Australian troops supporting British and Malaysian forces. The conflict, known as Konfrontasi, involved cross-border raids and resulted in 23 Australian deaths. It ended with a peace treaty in 1966 after Suharto's rise to power. This remains the only direct military engagement between Australia and Indonesia, driven by regional power dynamics rather than direct bilateral hostility. East Timor, 1975 to 1999. Australia's non-intervention during Indonesia's invasion of East Timor and subsequent support for Timorese independence strained relations. However, cooperation between Australian and Indonesian military officers, many trained together, minimized escalation. Current relations. Since the 2006 Lombok Treaty, Australia and Indonesia have prioritized good neighborliness and non-interference, evolving into a comprehensive strategic partnership. Recent agreements like the 2024 Defense Cooperation Agreement, DCA, emphasize joint exercises, military education, and maritime security, signaling a commitment to stability. Factors reducing risks 1-1. Strengthened bilateral ties. Defense cooperation. The 2024 DCA, described as the most significant defense agreement in their history, enables joint military activities, including the largest ever combined exercise, Karis Woomera, November 2024. Australia is Indonesia's second most important defense partner after the U.S., with frequent joint exercises, e.g., Rajawali Ausindo Super Garuda, Shield 2025, and plans for coordinated maritime patrols. Political commitment. Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese and Indonesian President Prabowo Subianto have emphasized a shared destiny and strategic trust. Albanese's visit to Jakarta in May 2025 underscored Indonesia as Australia's top strategic partner. Economic ties. Bilateral trade reached 17.8 billion Australian dollars in 2018 to 19, with growing economic interdependence through agreements like the Indonesia-Australia Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement, IACEPA. Factors reducing risks 2-2. Regional stability. Focus. Both nations share interests in countering non-traditional threats, e.g., people trafficking, drug smuggling, and maintaining maritime security in critical choke points like the Strait of Malacca. Indonesia's 2025 National Strategic Program prioritizes naval modernization and regional stability, with Australia as a key partner. Indonesia's non-alignment policy, reaffirmed by Prabowo, avoids binding alliances that could draw it into conflicts with Australia's allies, e.g., US, AUKUS partners. Indonesia balances ties with China, the US, and Australia, reducing the risk of taking sides in great power rivalries. Factors reducing risks. 3.3. Mutual deterrence. Military capabilities. Indonesia has a larger military, 400,000 active personnel, 400,000 reserves, compared to Australia's 60,000 active, 20,000 reserves. But Australia's advanced technology, e.g., F-35 aircraft, Collins-class submarines, and alliances, AUKUS, US, provide a strong deterrent. Geographic constraints. The maritime nature of their shared border makes large-scale conflict logistically challenging. Indonesia's small submarine force could theoretically disrupt sea lanes, but Australia's surveillance and naval capabilities mitigate this threat. Factors reducing risks. 4.4. Diplomatic mechanisms. The 2025 Australia-Indonesia Foreign and Defense Ministers 2+2 meeting emphasized conflict prevention with plans for a senior officials dialogue by year-end to address geostrategic issues. Indonesia's dismissal of Russia's request to base military aircraft in Papua, 1,200 kilometers from Darwin, reassured Australia, reducing concerns about third-party escalation. Factors increasing risks. Despite the low risk, certain issues could strain relations, though they are unlikely to lead to military conflict. 1. Papuan separatism. Indonesia perceives Australian support for Papuan separatists as a point of contention, exacerbated by incidents like the 2017 Pancasila mockery. However, Australia's official stance supports Indonesia's territorial integrity. 2. Geopolitical tensions. Australia's AUKUS alliance and Quad participation raise concerns in Indonesia about a regional arms race, though Indonesia remains neutral. 3. Miscalculations. Incidents like the 2017 Russian Tu-95 landing in Indonesia, which alarmed Australia, or hypothetical maritime disputes, could escalate if mismanaged. However, existing dialogues and exercises reduce this risk. 4. Historical mistrust. Indonesia's large population, 277 million versus Australia's 26 million, and its emerging status as a regional power are noted in Australian defense planning as potential future concerns, but these are speculative and not immediate threats. Strategic analysis. Extremely low probability of military conflict. The strengthening of defense, economic, and diplomatic ties, coupled with mutual interests in regional stability, makes military conflict highly improbable. The 2024 DCA and ongoing joint exercises demonstrate a commitment to cooperation. No direct triggers. Unlike the Guyana-Venezuela dispute over Essequibo, there is no active territorial conflict or resource-driven aggression. Past tensions, e.g., Konfrontasi East Timor, were context-specific and resolved diplomatically. Current irritants like Papuan separatism are managed through dialogue. Regional dynamics. Both nations are focused on countering China's growing influence in the Indo-Pacific, with Australia's National Defense Strategy, 2024, emphasizing multilateral collaboration and Indonesia as a key partner. Social media sentiment, posts on X, such as at YDYP's statement that Indonesia avoids regional turmoil to maintain relations with Western countries and China, reflect a consensus that Indonesia prioritizes stability over conflict. Critical assessment. The absence of a direct territorial dispute, combined with robust bilateral agreements and shared strategic interests, significantly reduces the likelihood of conflict. Indonesia's non-alignment and Australia's focus on regional partnerships align their goals against common threats like maritime insecurity. Historical tensions have been replaced by pragmatic cooperation, as seen in the DCA and frequent high-level engagements. While minor irritants, for example, Papuan issues, persist, they are addressed through established diplomatic channels. The hypothetical risk of conflict would require a drastic shift, such as a radical change in Indonesian leadership or policy, which is not indicated under President Prabowo's current tenure. Conclusion. As of September 10, 2025, the possibility of military conflict between Australia and Indonesia in 2025 is extremely low. Strengthened defense cooperation, economic ties, and diplomatic mechanisms, reinforced by the 2024 DCA and 2025 ministerial meetings, prioritize stability and mutual trust. Potential flashpoints like Papuan separatism or geopolitical misalignments are unlikely to escalate due to both nations' commitment to dialogue and regional security. The historical precedent of confrontasi is not applicable to the current context, and both countries' strategic focus on countering external threats, e.g. China's maritime assertiveness, further aligns their interests. Thanks for watching. Give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more in-depth military analyses. Hit the notification bell to stay updated on our latest videos. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Made by @DevDataPlanet, YouTube channel 2025.